Welcome guys to John's Football Channel. This is your post review of Aston Villa versus Chelsea. This game finished 4-1. Come on you boys. We managed to get the result. We managed to get the win. We managed to keep our Champions League football alive for next season. Very interesting other results around us also went in our way. Let's get into it. So going into this game, Aston Villa went with Martinez in goal, in Madsen, Mings and Conte as the centre backs, Cash as the other right back, then Nona and Luiz as the CDMs, Bailey, Bundia and Rogers in the midfield, and Ollie Watkins as striker. And then Chelsea went with, surprisingly, very well done to Rosinha for this. He put Jorgensen, he put Gusto as right back, Fofana and Chalapa as centre backs, Haito as the other left back, Caicedo and Reece James in the midfield. Just ahead of him, Enzo, Garnacho on the left, Palmer on the right, and João Pedro as our striker. And then we had some players that came on for Aston Villa: Barkley, Bolgade, and Ellison came on as well. For us, it was Lavia, Cucurella, Tosin, and then also managed to bring on Jadon Sancho, Tammy in the second half. We also ended up bringing on Santos and Delap as well. So let's get into it. This is how it all unfolded. In the first minute, we can say more or less around the second, Douglas Lewin ends up getting the goal. This goal was quite shocking how quick it happened. I think for most of us thought, okay, here we go. We lost. It's done. It's a wrap. But no, going into the 35th minute, we end up scoring as well. I think this was the way a lot of goals to remember for this game. Likely it's a good thing. Malo Gusto ends up playing a good pass on the floor with pace in the middle of the box, and then João Pedro just puts it into an open net basically. And then we had the second goal for João Pedro in the 45 minutes with Enzo. He also ends up scoring, which was also a very good goal as well, the way he scored. And then we move on into the second half. On the 55th minute, I believe it was Palmer. Palmer scored the 55th minute, and then assisted by João Pedro. Another also good cross, and then Palmer ends up slotting in, with a lot of pace, coming into the box, running onto it. Very nice. I love how that goal went in. It was nice, crisp and clean. How Palmer ends up doing it always. And then we have the last one with João Pedro and Garnacho end up being with one-on-one basically with the goalkeeper. They were composed. They knew what they were doing. They knew Garnacho had to be a bit more forward for the pass to happen, for not to be offside or anything. And then ended up slotting it into another empty net, which gave us a very well-deserved 4-1 win over Aston Villa. There was a few subs that came on for both teams, but I think at that stage, as it was coming on, I think everyone knew that game was wraps. I think by the 55th minute, we ended up getting the third, and I think everyone knew it was finished. We had it. I think it was also a question of who gets the next goal, and clearly for the next 10 minutes until we got our fourth, nothing really much happened. They tried to bring players in, but they brought players in on the 63rd minute. 1 minute later, we ended up scoring the last goal for us. And I think it was a pivotal, because had Aston Villa scored, it would have been 2-3. I think it would have been more cagey. I think it would have been more end-to-end, because it's not necessarily given that we were going to win the game. But the fact that we managed to get the fourth definitely killed the game. It said, no, there's no way we're coming back from this. Let's shut down shop. And I think everyone basically knew the result. We were just waiting for the final whistle to happen, basically. So this game, it was a very nice win. I think it gives us an opportunity to have some confidence going into next games and some belief. We definitely needed to win this game. If there's any other game that we were going to win, was this one. We need to not go with that mindset, because if we do, it might take us to a very dark place. We need to keep our heads. We need to focus. We know this is just the start of many difficult games, and if we keep playing like this, I don't think we played. I think from certain stages of the game we played well. Obviously, there's a lot to improve on. Not that I can think of on the top of my head. I think we managed to hold the ball quite well for most parts of the game. We managed to have those triangles where we end up playing it among in between each other and keeping Aston Villa away from it. It was actually nice to see it as well that the yellow cards, we only got 2 yellow cards for this game, which was good. Not necessarily that we got 2 yellow cards, but the fact that we only got 2 and it was quite cheap yellow cards. It wasn't like it was a tackle or anything. The one was with João Pedro, where João Pedro lands up getting I think the third or fourth foul on the player after each other, basically. So I think hence why the referee decided to give him a yellow card. And then the next one was with Enzo. Enzo deciding to be very clever and clap to the referee for, I think, awarding a free kick or something on the edge of the box. And the referee was not having that. He said, okay, you want to make jokes? Here's a joke for you to take home with you. So I think, apart from that, not much in terms of worry in terms of yellow cards, which is a good thing. I mean, I think we have a good team. I think we've just been hindering ourselves quite a lot lately with these red cards to not give us opportunities to win the games. I think we also played well in terms of knowing that we need to be compact, knowing that we had to sit back also and wait for our chances. It was a nice thing also that we were on the front foot. We didn't wait for them. I think it was more of them trying to catch us on the counter, and it was true. There was many occasions where they tried to do, and I think they ended up doing it with Ollie Watkins. Then Ollie Watkins nearly scored. I think actually he did, but it was likely it was offside. So I think we need to keep this going. We need to find a way to keep the balance very strong between attack and defense. We need to know, okay, if we're gonna attack, we need to know, okay, who's gonna cover who and how, so that we don't have these problems going into the next games, where we have two strikers on 2 defenders. I think it was very well from our defense. I believe it was Chalaba that managed, or was Fofana. I know that when Ollie Watkins was trying to get closer to the box, when he ended up scoring that offside goal, it was very clever where he was stopping going, just to catch the player offside. So it was very good to see that he has some knowledge of what exactly he wants to do, and that he knows how to stop the opposition. Those small things like that, it gives us an opportunity to say, wow, we actually have a team. But now I think it's a question of, can we do it consecutively? Can we do it consistently enough for the Premier League? So let me know down below what you guys think of this game. It was very good to see that we managed to get the result. Let's take a look at other things. Here's the thing. Out of the 6 players that have been rated, we have João Pedro, Palmer, Garnacho, Tammy, Buendia, and Bailey. So obviously, I think out of everyone is obviously João Pedro. João Pedro played quite well. He managed to be where he needed to be in order to get those goals that he got, and showed that he had confidence after the first and the second goal. So it was very good to see. And I think any striker would love to be in that position, knowing that they're getting goals. They would actually say, okay, what do I need to do to get to the next? So yes, I think it's a way of saying to us guys, this is how we need to do it. We need to get the first and get the second and probably get the third even, to give ourselves that confidence to say, okay, now we can do what we want to do, not necessarily like robots. Because we know in a game, we do the basics, we both teams do the basics, and hope that that both teams don't make a mistake, and hopefully one gets a goal. That's more or less how it normally is, until the first or second goal goes in. Then it's all luck, basically. It's all strategy. It's all throw in the kitchen sink. You either throw the kitchen sink and get another 2 goals, or you throw a kitchen sink and you end up conceding 2 more goals. So I think that's how it necessarily is. I think João Pedro was man of the match, but out of the last 5 players, out of the other 5, who would be your next player? Would you say, wow, okay, João Pedro was a 10, but this player did not as good as him, but was really up there and deserves to be in the shout, or one of the players that deserves to be mentioned after this game. For me, I think Reece James did well. I think between Reece James and Palmer, I think those are the two players that I can see that actually did well for this game. Maybe even we should actually throw it out and say Rafinha. Rafinha should get man of the match because he did very well in terms of knowing that Sanchez was pressurized in the first game with Arsenal. Knowing, okay, the same instance will happen again, and we need to make sure that doesn't happen. So hence why Jorgensen is starting and not Sanchez. I think that was very good to see. That he could have done this a lot earlier. He could have done it in the second half against Arsenal, but he caused a problem. So like this, him playing in the next half, there's not much scrutiny to him or anything like that, or question marks being done. I think everyone was happy to see it being done because we managed to get the results that we needed in order for us to win. And I think also it's a good thing maybe to have these two types of players. A player that was more likely to play with the ball. I think Sanchez obviously is better than Jorgensen in terms of saves, but I do think Jorgensen is better there on the feet than Sanchez. So I think that in a way they balance each other out. They both have different key points and things that they deserve praise for. I think it's a question of how do you get the best out of them and when do you particularly play them. For Rafinha, this is a very perfect example to play Jorgensen, because this game you could see they were pressurizing our defense, and I think it was very well to our defense that we were able to get past those counters and get past those blocks that they intentionally put there in order for us to concede possession. So yeah, this is very well done. Obviously, going into this game, we've had 57 ball possession, they had 43. Shots on target, we had 15, they had 9. Then we had big chances, they had 3, we had 5. Big chances missed, they had 3, we had 2. Fouls committed, we had 9, they had 10. Offsides is 2-2 respectively. So apart from, I think the big chances was very good that we are able to clearly, obviously we got big chances, and hence why it was such a big scoreline, because we created those big chances. And then also with the total shots, I think it also shows that, not to say we were shooting more, I think obviously that we had chances, hence why we kept shooting, and hence why we have more shots. But maybe it's a perfect example. Most teams that win the game tends to have the most shots on target and the most shots. So I think in general we need to start finding ways to shoot outside the box and different ways to actually get that critical point in the game where we say, okay, we have the lead, let's build on that. So yeah, guys, this currently leaves us on 48 points, 3 points behind Aston Villa now. And then we also have a shocker for Man United, who Man United against Newcastle. Newcastle was on had one man down, and Newcastle suddenly ended up bringing a result against Man United. Man United lost. They're on 51 points. They're still 3 points in front of us, but they're not very far. Liverpool also, I think Liverpool did their points. I think Liverpool's fine. I think Man City are the team that actually lost points as well. They drew instead of winning. Big result up front. Arsenal won their game, so currently they're 7 points clear. Although Man City still have a game to play. So if they win, it's basically 4 points. 4 points is still 4 points. That's a full game. So Arsenal can basically say they have 7 games left of the season and they know they Premier League champions. So Man City have a lot of work to do going into the next games. And then obviously a very big result from West Ham. West Ham picking up 3 points. They're on 28 points now. Level with Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest at one stage was actually going to get an opportunity to run away from West Ham, but no, Man City kept them to a draw. So now they're in the same points. I think now it's time for West Ham to actually start bringing up points, and they can actually go further now and move up the log where they actually deserve. Let me know down below who deserves in terms of team, who actually didn't do their best to buy players and who actually deserves to be relegated. We could say Wolves, Burnley. But who else? Is it Nottingham Forest? Is it West Ham? Is it Spurs? Is it Leeds? Let me know down below what you guys think. So this is my preview, post-review of the game. Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 4. Come on you boys, let's go into the next game. Peace.